Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and you're listening or watching No BS Job Search Advice Radio. It's a time where I like to spend about 15 minutes speaking with you. Excuse me, I've got to suck on a lozenge and I just got to the wrong spot. I like to speak about some element of job search because I'm frankly of the belief that job hunting doesn't have to be hard, difficult, painful, or take as long as it does. It's just most of you may have the skills needed to do the job, but where you struggle is learning the job hunting skills. And that's where this show, my flagship show, which is called Job Search Radio, also comes in handy. Both are designed to give you great advice, make it easy for you because it's in small doses, and help point you in the right way toward finding work. Now, this show is brought to you by Audible. And if you go to audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter and sign up for a free trial of Audible, you'll get a free audiobook as part of that trial. And again, that's audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter. Now, in some respects, this is a show that's going to be about mistakes people make with their resume. I called it resume knots because I'm looking at this from a bigger perspective. What people tend to do with their resumes is just flat out wrong from a big picture perspective. Not the little details of languaging and how they express themselves, but just the big picture of what people do with a resume. And the first thing I know people tend to make mistakes with is they treat their resume like a list of responsibilities and it's like a job description. So they'll say things like responsible for, interacted with, and creating this document that's a rehash of role responsibilities, accomplishments. And frankly, the document is boring. And part of the reason it doesn't work is that the resume isn't giving people a context for what they stepped into. So for example, that individual who's talking about role responsibilities and accomplishments, and if they're in IT, the technology that they used, isn't talking about what they stepped into in order to do all this stuff. So for example, if you talk about being, responsible for an overall system. I'm going to use an IT example that was responsible for generating $24 million in savings during the first 2 years of its operation. And you talk about the things that you did. You're giving people a taste for the environment that you stepped into. If you talk about money saved, money earned by this system and what it was designed to do and what your piece of it was, well, suddenly it's a different context. So your resume is not a job description. It's not a list of responsibilities. It's a story. Now, within that idea of a story, it's not War and Peace. This is not designed to be a 400-page document that's talking about every aspect of your life in minute detail. For those of you who don't know this, I'll critique someone's LinkedIn profile and resume. So I got a resume profile, and I was charging, I believe, $150 for a profile. Person sent me a 9-page resume, and I realized there are people out there who have what I can only describe as abusive resumes. And it caused me to reprice it, my work there, for people with 3 pages or less and over 3. And thank goodness the people with over 3 who really need the most work aren't taking me up on the different price. Because the fact of the matter is, if you don't know how to edit what you've done to make it seem manageable, you're just going to waste people's time. This is not to talk about every aspect of your life for the last 20 years. This is not to go into such minute detail about everything that you've done, that you're creating this enormous document that you could put a binder on. You know, a resume is a marketing document. It's designed to get you in the door. It's not designed to tell people every last aspect of your life. You know, your photograph, you know, all your personal information, your marital status, you know, your age. You know, nonsense like that is completely extraneous. Get rid of it. It's really that simple. Again, another thing that people do with their resumes that I think is ludicrous is they use objective areas that talk about their aspirations. Employers just don't care. That's the fact of the matter is they don't care about your hopes and dreams and aspirations. They will be impressed when you show them how you're the right candidate of their hopes and dreams and aspirations. So, you know, when instead of using an objective area, if you want to use a summary, do so. I'm not all that fond of them, but I do believe a summary can be focused in on how you fit the role. But better yet, there's an email, I'm sorry, not an email, a cover letter that you can use that will do even better, where you talk about what you've done and how you went about doing it, how long and how recently you worked on the functionality and on the requirements of the position. And those will go a long way toward demonstrating your fit for the role. Again, no one cares what you want at this stage. What they're looking for is what they want. And that's what you have to be focused on. Next. A resume is not to be designed to be an employment application. Again, it's a marketing document. It's to sell you for a job. It's designed to overcome some of the objections, I should say, that they might have about your background and talk about your personality or demonstrate your personality in a document. And I must apologize to you. I'm off today. I wasn't aware that this bug that's been lingering with me for 2 weeks was knocking me for such a loop. But it is. I'm finding the words aren't flowing as freely. So I want to apologize in advance if you're not finding this the most capable show that I've done. Frankly, I can see that it isn't, but I want to still go through the details. So, you know, an application is going to be a separate form that you work with. Again, it's designed to market you to an organization and demonstrate the quality of your work. Lastly, it's not a list of actions. You know, focusing on skills, focusing on experience and work history, as most functional resumes are designed to do, sells you short because people don't have an idea of how recently you've done the work. Instead, you know, use chronological resumes. Demonstrate your fit in a cover email and have a great resume that tells a wonderful story about what you stepped into, the situation you were involved with, the tasks that you did, the accomplishments you had, and the results of the work that you did. This show is going to be shorter than usual. I apologize. Like I said, I'm feeling off. I just want to get to the point. So I hope you found it helpful, even though I wasn't at my best. I'm Jeff Altman. I'll be back next week with more no BS job search advice. Hope you have a great day. Take care.